I was so excited to upload this very first video. I thought it was going to be great. I'd never edited or had no computer, and it was all done on my phone. Looking back, it still makes me cringe, but now I have better editing system. I've managed to make it more bearable to watch, but it's still not that great, so I do apologise. So Graveyard Explorers was born out of lockdown madness in 2020, as we all probably remember. Like many others, I was placed in the shielding category and was housebound, and I found that very difficult. Before that, I was working 2 jobs, looking after a family, to suddenly nothing, no reason to get out of bed. When restrictions were eased, the living was still too scary, everyone looking at each other suspiciously if there was a cough, sanitising, avoiding people. It was just becoming too stressful. So my husband and I decided to go and walk amongst the dead. There was actually something very peaceful and calming about walking through cemeteries. We started to read the headstones and talk about the people buried there. We talked about our deaths and our funerals, and it wasn't sad or hard. We learnt a lot about each other, and we laughed a lot. I fell over a lot. He loved the history of the places and the thrill of finding hidden churches, whereas I enjoyed the dead. I found I was saddened at the state of the UK's graveyards and how forgotten the dead were. The graveyards were unkempt and stones broken, and I couldn't get my head around that one day that would be me, forgotten. I decided throughout my journey that actually I didn't want to be buried. I didn't want to be a lonely weathered stone to say who I was, because that's not who I am. I am more than a name on a battered old stone. I want my name to die with the memories of those that loved me, because I believe that only then will I truly be dead. As we walked through the graveyard, I found the baby graves the saddest, and yet I was drawn to them, and I felt guilty looking at them, as if that meant I was weird or someone was looking at me, looking at them, but I couldn't help it. Whatever beliefs you have, I think we all have common ground. No baby should die. Beliefs are personal to everyone. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and I am no one to judge. But what I can say is, it is a tragedy beyond comprehension. Deaths of children are a daily tragedy that is largely unseen and rarely reported. Today, on average, a child dies every 5 seconds worldwide. 4.6 of all children die before the age of 15. Historically, 26.9% of newborns died in their first year of life and 46.2% before reaching adolescence. So, in other words, around a quarter died in their first year of life and around half died as children. These historical estimates are striking because the child mortality rates are so similar in all 43 historical cultures. Thank goodness, though, that current statistics show that the global infant mortality rate is now at 2.9% and 4.6 die before reaching the age of 15. It was much more common for the poorer people in the UK in the early 1900s to see their babies die, while the rich were least likely. Towns saw higher infant mortality than the countryside. This is because conditions in towns were unsanitary and people were poor, women did not eat well and were often undernourished. This was reflected in the poor quality of breast milk, and babies weren't getting the nutrition they needed to help them grow and fight infections. Many child deaths were caused by infections such as measles, even diarrhea. And sadly, in the year following the end of the Second World War, it was discovered that that war itself was the 7th leading cause of deaths for those under 14 years. So I thought long and hard about putting these graves into a video, because people, you don't know what people's paths, are, and what sort of effect that your videos will have on people. And there are some people out there that might even be offended, but I just figured that the world is an offensive place. You are going to be offended, but baby death, any death, all death, it is life, and it is offensive, and it is sad, and it is infuriating, and it is emotional. But that is everyday life. So I will include it, and I will talk about it, and I will be delicate about it. Of course I will. I've lost 2 children, so I understand how that is, and that is probably why I'm drawn to them, because I have an affinity with them, with the parents, and with what happens to the people that are left behind. I know I'm probably not making any sense and waffling on, but that's life. It doesn't make sense. I did warn you, we got quite deep when we went round these churches. Now, this church, Weston, has a very special place in my heart. I still couldn't decide whether to just do graveyards or do church ruins, so that's why the sort of early months of my videos, there are bits of graveyard, bits of churches, and even now I still haven't decided. I kind of like both, so I'm kind of going to include both. Now, I remember climbing through so much undergrowth to get to this little bit that you can see now, and I'm not a fit lady, so that was not fun. But this is where I found that I liked to know the history. So I decided that I would look it up and share it with you. So this is the first ever titles, should we say, that were included in the video. Now, this next video was I believe one of my most popular ones. As you can see, this is my first ever experience of going to a proper cemetery, specially built, and encountering coffins. Now, as well as taking off, this one really tested me, because I got a lot of hate comments on the comments. I really didn't know how to handle that. I'd never been subject to internet trolls before, but here they were, and I kind of thought, is this worth it? I haven't come on here to be bullied. But the criticism that I did receive, that was constructive, I really, really listened to, and I worked on, and I made sure I tried to imply them in my other videos, because how else was I going to learn other than listening to you guys telling me to slow down, telling me to stop being wobbly, telling me to read the names on the tombstones, and this is what you guys wanted. So I tried to take all of that on board. And so I found the block button for those horrible people and decided to carry on. I found that YouTube was just a very helpful place. The people that made their videos, I mean, there's Paranormal Explorers, Haunted and Abandoned Norfolk, they've all reached out to me and helped me and just kept me going. And I think it's that community that goes on behind the scenes of YouTube that people just don't really understand, because without these people sort of saying, oh, come on, do this, do that, or have you tried this editing system, have you tried this, and I don't know where I'd be. So I mean, I've obviously missed a few because I'm sort of ad-libbing, but thank you guys. I'm nearing 1,000 subscribers, and you helped me. So, and to everybody that's watching my videos, thank you, because I do it for you. Well, that got deep quite quick, didn't it? But no, it's all true. It's all true what I've said. So I've learnt a lot on this journey. As I keep saying, these are the first time I've ever been in catacombs and columbariums. I didn't know the terminology. I didn't know what gravestones were called what, or I didn't even know this was a columbarium, if I'm even saying that right. When I was filming it, I just stumbled across it when we were walking around in a graveyard, and I was like, what's this? And it was like, oh my goodness, no, this is not the columbarium, this is the catacomb. My mistake. See, I still get it wrong. Yeah, so this was all, you all came on this learning journey with me, and I still have got so much to learn, but I'm just glad that I've got subscribers that will come along with me for the ride, and I'm still hoping for that one day when I can capture myself falling over on camera, because it happens a fair bit. Speaking on these videos, I found very, very difficult. I don't like the sound of my own voice, and I had a lot of anxiety to get over, I guess, talking to myself in a dark room, looking at a computer screen. It was all very alien to me, and it still is. When I edit it, I try to edit it before I do the voiceovers so I don't have to listen to myself, because I think, oh, Kelly, you sound like a As we were wandering round some of London's graveyards, we stumbled across Pete Burns' graveyard, and my husband was like, do you know who that is? And I was like, no. And he was like, you absolutely do. And when he explained to me who it was, I was like, oh my God, get a picture. And this is how going round and finding famous graves were born. And once I started doing this, I realised that there was another Hollywood graveyard. Oh, amazing. Go visit him. He's American, and he does a much better job than I do. So I decided to just go around the ones in Britain whenever I'm out in visiting that graveyard, and video the ones that interest me. And so this was the first ever video I did, which included famous people. Now, I had been to Highgate before. I'd even done videos or anything, and I absolutely loved just walking around. It was a miserable rainy day, and we just walked around Highgate Cemetery, and it was brilliant. So then we decided that we would go away on holiday, and I always wanted to go to Whitby Abbey, the home of Dracula. And so the storytelling side of things appeared, and I decided to video and share, where Dracula was born. This was mainly for my own interest, because I just found it fascinating that such a famous story was born in Britain. So I decided to film it, share it, wanted to go there. Whitby, the most amazing place. My husband got me on a boat out to sea. Hated it, hated every minute of it. Hate boats, can't bear boats. But he loved it, and he'd brought me here, so why not? And this video just doesn't do it justice, which is the problem that I find with videos, is they don't do it justice. I film on my Samsung S21. That is it. That's what I film on. I haven't got any special camera equipment. I don't have any special lighting. I literally just do it on my phone. So half these videos don't do it justice. And this place we stumbled upon was just amazing. I was walking, we had to walk up an alleyway, not an alleyway, like between a field, and you're thinking, oh God, a public roadway, that's what I meant. And you're thinking, oh God, where am I going? And we just stumbled across this redundant church, and the ground was just full of rabbit warrens and massive holes. And my elderly dog, the black lab, which sometimes appears in some of my videos, was running around because she's really good on recall. There she is in the background there, and I'm thinking, please don't bring back a bone, please don't bring back a bone. So I was really, really scared of her finding stuff that she shouldn't find, but she didn't. She was really good. We kept the puppy on the lead because he is a rescue and doesn't have any recall. This was interesting to see what was how these were actually built. Just bricks inside, nothing exciting there, and I see that I think the stone, if you look at the top, the writing's on the inside, not on the outside. So that was interesting. Now, if you know anything about churches, you will know about Borley Church, the most famous haunted church in England. And one of my sons were going to a football match in this area, so I was like, I am going. I had both the dogs with me. They were really annoying. The rescue puppy is just scared of his own shadow, so he absolutely hated it. But I absolutely loved the story of this. So all these videos that I've linked together, they're all longer versions on my YouTube channel. So if any of them piques your interest, go check them out. Some of them are quite bad, but some of them are quite interesting and quite good, and I really enjoyed making them. I don't know whether there are ghosts, but Borley Church was just amazing. It was a beautiful sunny day, so it didn't really feel spooked at all. And going round, I sort of see all these different graves, and I thought, oh, I know what that is. Oh, I know what that is. So I did actually do a video on different graves and different monuments and what they meant and what they are and why they have these mort safes over, and I really found that really, really fascinating. But my need to explore and find didn't finish there. There's my little black lab, my 14-year-old. We saw this little chapel on one of my friend's YouTubes, Haunted and Abandoned Norfolk. Go check them out. They're a lot better than I am. And I love abandoned places, but I'm a little bit of a wimp and daren't go and explore things or places that, maybe protected, or you could get done for trespassing, or I'm a bit of a la-la about things like that. So this one was just out in the woods for anyone to go and visit, and it was amazing. It was truly beautiful, and it's been done to death now. So many people have since found this little chapel, and it's plastered all over the internet. But this was just, the story behind it is beautiful. I can't believe everything's still in it. It is one of Norfolk's hidden secrets, so there's no point asking where it is, because anyone with any sort of morals won't tell you. They will not tell you where this is, because we are trying to preserve it and protect it, because it is just, well, as you can see, it is just beautiful, and everything's still in it, everything's untouched, and the thought of having it vandalised, well, it doesn't bear thinking about. So this is how we sort of came here. We're not really into sort of doing abandoned places, even though I do love it, and I've got I think I've got another one, the Whiskey House, on mine, which I was lucky to go into before it got renovated. but sadly the pictures were rubbish. I had an old phone and it was before any of sort of exploration of abandoned buildings were a thing. So I have included it, but the pictures were rubbish. So this really leads me to the end of this video and the end of this year and the end of this year's journey, and I've got some things in the bag for next year that I can't wait to go and explore and show you. And I just wanted to say, I hope whatever you celebrate, whether it's Christmas or whatever you celebrate or not celebrate, I hope it's peaceful for you. And I just want to thank you all so much for your support, especially if you made it to the end of this video and the end of my waffling. Christ, Kelly, shut up. All your comments, I read all your comments. I may not reply straight away because I'm doing a uni course, I am working full time, so doing this plus a family of 4 kids and a husband, so 5 kids, you could say, and 2 dogs. I don't often have time, but I do read every single one, and when I do get a minute, you will always get a reply. So thank you ever so much for your support. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for coming with me on this journey, you know, because I am sharing something that's very special with you and close to my heart. So thank you, and I hope you have a very good Christmas and a happy new year, and let's just hope next year is each year will get better. We have to tell ourselves that each year will get better. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you in the new year. Bye bye.